Hello again, fellow BeachBum traders. Thank you for joining us for part 2 of our weekly trading game plan for the trading week of December 4th through December 8th. We're in part 2 of our weekly trading game plan. We'll be selecting and talking about our top swing trading stocks to watch, stocks in our bullpen. We'll talk about our shopping list, how to manage our shopping list. We'll also look at a variety of dividend payers, and we'll talk about some option strategies to also generate income while we're waiting for our swing trading stocks to set up appropriately. So let's get started. Welcome again to EKS. Brian Moritz, The Crow. Welcome. Thank you for joining us in the live chat today. Glad to see you all. So here's our Google document with our notes for part 2 of our weekly trading game plan for December 4th through December 8th. We keep our notes in publicly accessible Google Drive, Google documents, and you can find a direct link to these notes in the description box below. Our notes contain links to bonus videos, also to the tools and resources we use for our trade ideas, trade strategies, etc. If you have not already seen part 1 of our weekly trading game plan for this week, titled Make Money Trading in December, we would highly recommend that you also view part 1, as this contains our market analysis, strategies, trade ideas, etc., for generating our top swing trading stocks to watch and additional trade ideas and strategies for this week. We keep all of our notes for our weekly trading game plans in a publicly accessible Google Drive folder, so you can refer back to the notes for part 1 as well as previous weeks in those Google documents. And again, you can find a direct link to that Google Drive folder, publicly accessible Google Drive folder, in the description box below. Welcome also to Ricky Khan. So before we get started with our trade updates, thank you again to EKS for sharing some news about Occidental Petroleum, looking at buying Crown Rock, so a couple oil companies in play probably tomorrow. So thank you again for sharing that news with us. Hopefully you're a member of our Discord, and you can also post news like that in our Discord. Also, as you can see, the live chat for our live streams is generally open once it's been created, and you all are more than welcome to start chatting at any time, even before the live stream starts. EKS also pointed out something about Oxy. So again, oil looks like there might be some merger news in the oil sector come Monday. So thank you again for sharing that with us. So we'll jump into our trade updates for this week, and then we'll look at the chart. So I'll just review some of our trade updates for this week, and again, then we'll look at the charts in Webull. So we finally got stopped out of our latest long position in Disney. We had entered Disney at on 824 at 85.01. You'll see it declined further from that. We were patient, waited for it to recover. Went up around 95, looked like some resistance around 95. We got stopped out on 1128 at 94.40. Had some issues with my stop in Fidelity. Could have got a little higher, but again, profitable trade. We made about 11% net ROI on that trade. So a monthly ROI of about 3.4%. So again, we'll watch Disney. If Disney declines again, probably around 85, we'll start watching it for a bottom and then swing Disney back up. We'll also, as when we get to our puts ROIC Google sheet, we'll see, we'll watch for selling cash secured puts against Disney. So a couple different ways we can profit from Disney. And it does look like it's rolling over a little bit. So again, we'll keep an eye on Disney, see if it gets cheap and hits a support level. We'll swing that again. We've made money both on puts and on shares in Disney. Welcome, Easy Mike. Thank you for joining us. Hope you're doing well. Yesterday, we looked at TECS and TECL. TECS, and we talked about these last week, so you can listen to last week's weekly game plan. We also have a bonus video that you can watch that we talk about how we use TECL and TECS to long or short the broader technology sector. So we had entered TECS on 11/29 at 10.97. We got stopped out on 12/01 at 11/09, so we made a small profit, a 1% profit. Again, it's just a couple days, so monthly ROI on that's about 16%. And again, we're going to be looking for opportunities to scalp the technology sector again. Again, we talked about these trends yesterday, and this is one of our main strategies, at least now until probably mid-December or so. And then again, we talked that we expect a rally in the Magnificent Seven at the end of the year. So we'll be looking for scalping opportunities in technology using TECS. Just a quick reminder, if you'd like to get real-time alerts when we enter or exit a trade, you can get email notifications of those by joining our Patreon at any level. And I'll show you a couple channels we have in our Discord where we also get alerts on both price targets and when we make trades. So again, if you join any level of our Patreon, and you can find the link here as well as in the description box. Our Patreon members also have access to these alerts channels. So we have a couple alerts channels in our Discord where we get alerts. So the first one is a Thinkorswim price alerts channel. So I have price alerts set up in Thinkorswim. When those get triggered, they get automatically posted to this Thinkorswim Discord channel. So you can see, and then if we follow that up with an actual trade, I'll reply in that Thinkorswim Discord channel so you can see when we got stopped out of TECS. Also, you can see I had a price alert set in Thinkorswim on the futures contract on gold. So when gold broke its all-time high recently, we got an alert, and we'll talk about some ways we're looking at possibly shorting gold at some point. But we're watching that peak in gold. So again, if that would help you, we also have a trade alerts channel. So if I enter or exit a trade not directly related to a Thinkorswim alert, then I would post it in the trade alerts channel. And again, any level of our Patreon will give you access both to email notifications as well as those alerts channels. So now we'll look at those trades in Webull. So first, here's our Disney trade. So I'll zoom this out a little bit. You can see we got in, I guess it was like, we've been in for about 3 months. So it was like August or so. 824. So back in this, this area, this before it broke down significantly. So we got in somewhere in this area. You can see it dipped down to 78, so that 80 level. And as we'll see, I believe I've got my puts currently watching that 80 level. And again, we just patiently waited, for Disney to recover. It made a new high about 97. You can see it kind of, reached that pivot point, rejected, then broke down, and that's when we got stopped out. So again, we'll watch Disney. Once it gets below 85, we'll start looking at it. If it gets down around 80, we'll look at possibly selling cash secured puts and or buying shares again. See, Disney's got a recent high of about 118. It does look like it's rolling over, so maybe we'll get another opportunity to go long on Disney. TECS, again, very short-term trade. We entered the 29th. So it did break down a little bit, broke down below 11. So we got it, somewhere in this dip area. Didn't get quite the lowest price, but you can see it moves pretty quickly. It recovered, peaked out, and then when it broke and rolled over that day, again, I put a stop in before I left my desk on the 1st, and it thinking we might get a pop in technology at the end of the day, and it stopped out, and then you can see it recovered a little bit and then has since broken down. We'll be looking for a new top, as we'll see a TECL. So if TECL reaches a new peak, rolls over, then we'll be using that as a trigger for an entry in TECS again. So now we'll talk about our watch list updates for our main watch list, our top swing trading stocks to watch for this week. Let me grab a quick drink and then we'll go through our watch list updates. Okay, we really haven't made a whole lot of changes to our main top swing trading stocks to watch list for this week. Our top 3 are Land, which is a REIT on farmland, Realty Income, which is another REIT. As we'll see, the REITs have been running up, and these guys, we're not going to chase these. If we do happen to get a pullback, an entry point, we've been watching these for a while for such a pullback. We might not get that. The real estate sector may have already started the run. We talked about that as a seasonal trend. We were watching these, and we'll see we're also watching LTC in our bullpen. And again, I thought about taking those off, and I thought, well, maybe we'll get a pullback and an entry point. And then we just talked about TECS, looking for a top or resistance in TECL to be the trigger for the entry point in TECS. Thank you again to the Crow for turning us on to TECS. And again, you can hear more about our analysis of TECL, TECS, the composition of TECL in the bonus link in the notes. Also, if you'd like to get more frequent updates to our watch list and also access to a daily automatically generated web page that includes price targets, ex-dividend dates, earnings report dates, dividend payment information, optionality, etc., you can get access to that web page via joining any level of our Patreon. And if I make a more frequent update after that web page has been generated, I post that in our Stocks Watchlist channel in our Discord. That again, any level of our Patreon will give you access to that automatically generated web page and the Stocks Watchlist channel in our Discord. So again, we don't ever recommend anyone follow us blindly into or out of trades, but if it would help you in your make money trading, help you succeed in your trading, to get our trade alerts, get our price targets, etc., for these top swing trading stocks to watch, bullpen stocks, etc., you can get access to all that information via joining any level of our Patreon. So now we'll look at the top swing trading stocks to watch list in Webull. So as you can see, I'm using the online browser version of Webull. It's easy to have multiple watch lists, easy to jump to our watch list. So here's Land. Again, we've been watching Land for a while. It kind of popped up. It's been kind of flat. You see the previous low about 1330. I've got an alert set in both Webull and Thinkorswim, triggered on that low point. Again, it's been pretty flat. If we get one of these pullbacks, again, might be an opportunity to get into land. Just saw somebody was saying they own land. Yeah, we've swung trade land profitably numerous times. Again, we're looking more for price appreciation than the 5-cent dividend. You can see it last one ex-dividend on 11/17. Similarly for realty income, you can see it popped up. It had dipped on a merger news. We got in and made some money around the 50 to 53 or so level. We're looking for another dip, preferably below 50 or so. You can see it just went ex-dividend. I thought maybe there'd be an irrational, dip on the ex-dividend date. Didn't really get it. So this may have just run away, and we're not going to chase it. I'd like it under 50 or so. So we'll see. Again, we talked about TECS. We're watching TECS for more scalping opportunities to short the broader technology sector. So as we see these sector rotations in and out of the Magnificent Seven, in and out of other technology sectors, we're trying to play it broadly using TECS to short on any peak of TECL. So you see TECL recently made that new all-time high. That's when we shorted the technology sector using TECS. Again, we're watching TECL. If it peaks back above, near that resistance level, near that all-time high, and rolls over again like it did on the 29th, then that would be our entry trigger for a short using TECS. Again, these are leveraged ETFs, so TECS will generally decay, so it could go below 1088, even though TECL has not hit a new all-time high. So again, we use the long as the guidepost as to when to enter on the short in these leveraged ETFs. Welcome, Walter Lyons. Thank you for joining us. Hope you're doing well. So next we'll talk about our bullpen stocks. Again, if you're new to our community, the concept of bullpen stocks are not ones that we're watching real time. I revisit these at the end of each day. I put them in the bullpen if it looks like they may have a favorable setup in the near future. If they break down or run away, then we just take them out of the bullpen. And then as you'll see, I just spin through the charts at the end of each day, make a decision. Do we put them in the game, move them up to our top swing trading stocks to watch list, or do we take them out of the bullpen, or do we just wait? So stocks we currently have in our bullpen, CPSH, we've had in our bullpen for a little while. It's an electronics components company. It looks like a potential turnaround play. You can hear more of our analysis and due diligence on CPSH via the link to the bonus video in our notes. One we're adding, we talked about, and we just saw that alert on gold, that gold futures hit a new all-time high. Talked about opportunities to yesterday. We looked at a variety of ETFs to potentially short gold. I want to look at this, the risk reward of this GDXD, another one the Crow turned us on to, I believe, where someone pointed out, and it's the inverse of GDXU. So this is a 3x leverage short on gold miners. So I think I may have pointed this out yesterday in our ETF Google sheet yesterday, but I just want to quickly look at GDXD. So again, you can get access to this ETF Google Sheet as well as our dividend payers and our puts ROIC by joining our Patreon at the All Access or VIP level. So you can see we have several ETFs to short gold. We talked about these yesterday. Not sure if I pointed out GDXD specifically. So we can see the risk reward. We can see it's not quite at its 52-week low. These ETFs have been lagging the gold spot price. So we saw, even though gold itself hit a new all-time high, if we look at the long version of this, which is GDXU, I'll look at it in FinViz in a second. So we'll get the chart for GDXU and GDXD. So just a quick note, again, you can find the link to FinViz in the link section of our homepage. All the tools, resources we frequently use, we have links to on our homepage. So if we look at GDXU, again, we can see it's lagging significantly. Again, although the spot gold price hit a new all-time high, GDXU is lagging. Again, it's a leveraged ETF. So I'm looking for a peak in GDXU to be the trigger point to decide on an entry in GDXD. Again, this is the 3X leveraged short. So you can see it's got a 52-week low of about 359. So again, even though the spot gold price, the futures of gold have hit a new all-time high, these leveraged ETFs are lagging. The gold miners in general are lagging. So there are potentially a number of opportunities in the gold and silver miners possibly to play that lag. So again, we'll be watching for a peak in GDXU in the gold prices and see if, and really again, it's a peak in GDXU, which would determine our entry point in GDXD. And shorting gold for one of these pullbacks, we see, sometimes gold gets overbought and we get a pretty good pullback. So this would be a short-term scalper swing trade. The long-term trend in gold's definitely up. But again, these miners are lagging. And again, you could see the risk-reward profile for GDXD and the other ETFs to short gold in our ETF Google sheet. So you can see the longer-term risk-reward, the 52-week risk-reward for GDXD looks preferable to DUST or DZZ. So we hope that all helps. Welcome, Pawn Bearded Juan. Glad to see you here. Thank you for joining us. So again, we've had LTC. This is a REIT on healthcare facilities, senior living facilities. We've been watching it. It's been pretty flat. Again, a little bit of a pullback. Might give us an entry in that one. We've been watching MJ, again, ETF on the cannabis sector. Again, if we got a little bit of a dip there and then waiting for a catalyst in the cannabis sector, the alternative ETF for that sector is MSOS. And again, we've been watching MP Materials for quite some time. There was some news, and we'll see this little pop in MP Materials. The news was Biden's setting a criteria for batteries, for EV batteries, having to contain a certain percentage of materials sourced in the U.S. Again, we'll see that caused a little bit of a pop in MP, but it didn't hold that pop. Again, if you'd like to hear more about our thesis on MP Materials, you can listen to our previous due diligence video on MP via the link in the notes and also on our BeachBum Trading YouTube channel. Okay, so now we'll jump over and we'll look at our Bullpen Stocks in Webull. Let me grab a quick drink. Quick reminder that Webull is now offering up to 70 fractional shares of stock if you open and fund an account and deposit $25K or more. You can get up to 70 fractional shares of stock. worth $3,000 to $3,000 each. If you put in less than 25K, you get 25 or 20 free fractional shares worth 3 to 3,000. And also, they're still offering their 5% interest rate on cash, idle cash in your cash account. We use Webull for our due diligence, our market analysis, the majority of our trading. So if you're not already using Webull, you can open your account, fund it, get up to 70 free fractional shares. And if you use our link in our affiliate link in the description box, you also help support our BeachBum trading community, which we greatly appreciate. So now we'll look at our Bullpen Stocks. I'm using the online browser version of Webull. Again, you can have multiple watch lists. So at the end of each day, I can just flip to our Bullpen. Again, here's that CPSH electronics company. It looks like it may have finally gotten a stable bottom, had a little bit of a recent pop. Looks like it's approaching a pivot point. We'll see if that is a stable support. There's a low float, it's a low float, somewhat choppy a liquid. So we got a little bit of a pop, but it looks like this 230 area might be a stable support level. Looks like it may be trying to swing back up. We'll keep an eye on it, and if it does start to swing back up again, we might go long on CPSH. We looked at GDXU and GDXD in FinBiz, so we saw, they're lagging. So again, we're looking for a peak in GDXU, peak and then roll over. You can see that nice little pop, but in the past it's been significantly higher, so we definitely want to see a peak in GDXU. And again, we talked, it's been lagging the gold price. Here's LTC. Again, we've been watching this for a while, had it in our bullpen for a while. It's been relatively flat, had a little bit of a pop up on Friday with the exuberant run in the markets. And we might not get the dip in the real estate sector again, so we might have to let these guys go. You can see it went ex-dividend date on the 21st. Again, we're more interested in price appreciation than in the 19-cent dividend. MJ, again, it's been relatively flat, had a little bit of a pop on rescheduling news a while back. We'd like it back in the 280 area. Again, might not get it. It's run flat. Now looks like it might be uptrending again. Again, all of these stocks, if you're a momentum trader, these might be attractive. MP Materials, again, you see that dramatic pop initially on that news of Biden requiring, a certain percentage of materials sourced in the U.S., and then it dipped back down. So we see quite a bit of volatility, and then it ran back up. I'd like it somewhere below 15 or so, ideally. It's got pretty good upside, so. Okay. I also have one honorable mention. It's kind of a topic we started. These are other stocks. I didn't put them in our top swing trading stocks to watch, didn't put them in our bullpen, but they've come up as possibly being something that you might be interested in. This one is ASM. This is a precious metal, gold and silver miner. I'll look at their profile briefly in FinViz in a second. Just full disclosure, we are currently long ASM. We've been long ASM for quite some period of time. We also have a number of other small gold silver miners. These got beaten up pretty severely back in, I believe it was 2022. And we're waiting for some of the others to become profitable. But ASM's had a couple days where it's run about 10% recently, so it's had a nice run. They are profitable, which again is why I'm willing to point this one out to you. I'm not not really going to point those out that are currently unprofitable. You can see it's based in Canada, so some of the financial information might be a little bit sparse. You also see they do not have high debt, got a decent amount of shares, so it's not a real high short interest. If we look at their profile real quickly, they've got silver reserves in the Durango region in North Carolina, Mexico. Again, it's based out of Canada. So again, this is one that we look at primarily for silver, even though it's, talks about gold and silver. Their primary focus is silver. They've got some gold, they've got some copper. So again, this is one that we generally look at if we're looking for a silver miner. And again, you can see they're EBITDA positive. They did have a negative EPS back a couple years ago. And, they were minus one cent of the most recent quarter. But again, generally EBITDA positive, generally profitable. And again, it's been trying to run recently. So again, this might be something if you're, again, short-term trader, day trader, scalper, or if you want to ride the momentum, a momentum trader, you might be interested in ASM. So I hope that helps. In terms of shopping list stocks, again, we always recommend you have your shopping list ready. If we do get a retracement, a correction in the market, an opportunity, we're going to talk about, we're entering the period. We talked about this yesterday. We're entering the period of tax loss harvesting, tax loss selling. So those stocks that are significantly down may go down further, have selling pressure due to tax loss harvesting. If you are not familiar with how that works, what that means, you can listen to our video on tax loss harvesting and how it works via the link in our notes. Again, we also talked about this yesterday. Now through the end of the year is tax loss harvesting, tax loss selling time period. Also, these will be, contingent on the wash sale rule. So people may sell them looking to buy them back 30 days out. So some of the ones that they want to buy back in early January will probably be the first to sell off and start to recover, but the bounce back period will probably be into January. So just be aware of this when you're looking at your shopping list stocks. Are they going to be vulnerable to tax loss harvesting? And if so, you might want to wait for the bottom, and then they may again not recover until early January. So if you're willing to hold them into early January, that might be the recovery period. Again, we always say beware of, stay away from zombie stocks, zombie companies, zombie ETFs, and you can hear what that all means via those videos in our links. So EKS shared the news about the mergers in the oil area. So next we'll look at our dividend payer stocks. So if someone in the chat has any additional dividend payers that you'd like to take a look at, you can throw those up in the chat. Let me grab a quick drink and we'll look at our dividend payers Google sheet. Yeah, look at SAR. We typically look at SAR for Easy Mike. Look at ARK and SARK. Again, just a quick reminder, if you'd like access to our dividend payers Google sheet, You can gain access to this 24/7 by joining our Patreon at the All Access or VIP level. You can use our dividend payer Google Sheet to create your own schedule of dividend payer income, be it weekly, monthly, etc., that meets your risk reward profile, your dividend income requirements, etc. So again, you can get 24/7 access to this dividend payers Google Sheet as well as our ETFs and puts ROIC by joining our Patreon at the All Access or VIP level. Just a quick note of an addition that I've added to our dividend payers Google Sheet that I discovered is a dividend payer on gold. It's IGLD. So we'll look at IGLD real quickly, and then we'll look at the dividend information in our dividend payers Google Sheet for IGLD. So again, if you're looking to get dividend information, some of these miners pay a small dividend, couple pennies, but this one looks a little bit more attractive. So here's IGLD, FTCBOE Vest Gold Strategy Target Income ETF. You can see it's kind of followed GDXU in terms of price. It hasn't really, peaked out with gold. You see it pays about a 13-cent monthly dividend. So again, this is an alternative, as we'll see, to GLDI. And again, GLDI is the Credit Suisse ETN on gold that we've held for a long time, monthly dividend payer, and we'll compare the dividends of IGLD and the risk reward of IGLD to GLDI. But Credit Suisse got bought out, and there was some concern that they might discontinue their ETNs. Their gold is GLDI, silver SLVO, oil USOI, and this may be an alternative if that were to happen. You can see it's got a nominal dividend of about 8%, 7.9%. Not a whole lot of 52-week range, and again, we'll see the risk reward profile. You can see it's relatively new. So again, not a huge amount of range. So again, it looks like this started back in March of 2021 or so. And you can see it's looking to participate in the price returns of the GLD Gold Trust, invest in short-term U.S. Treasuries, cash equivalents. So you can also, if we go to our dividend payers Google Sheet and look at IGLD, GLDI, so here's IGLD, again, 13-cent dividend, so nominal yield of 7.8. You can see our support and resistance levels. So again, not a whole lot of price appreciation. So the adjusted yield is only, 19%, pays monthly. You can see it's, it hasn't risen significantly, even though gold's hit a new all-time high. If you compare that to GLDI, so GLDI, again, much higher price. They reverse split that a while ago, so it pays 152. So its nominal yield is 12%. Adjusted yield is 58%. So again, I prefer GLDI, but if there were some risk, again, with Credit Suisse, if you weren't comfortable that might get discontinued, IGLD might be an alternative that we want to keep an eye on. And again, it looks relatively stable. So again, this might be another way to generate dividend income from gold using IGLD or again, GLDI. So I hope that helps. So let me look at SAR. It's one of Easy Mike's favorites. So You can see it goes ex-dividend on the 8th of December. So if you want to get into SAR, currently paying them 72 cents quarterly. So again, if you want to get the quarterly dividend, ex-dividend is 12.8. You can see the risk-reward profile. So right now there's a little more risk than reward there. Not a lot of price appreciation, but a nominal yield of 11%, adjusted of about 22. So that's pretty attractive. Talked about ARK-K and SARK. I don't have ARK-K in here as a dividend payer. And I don't have SARK or ARK specifically as a dividend payer. So maybe something that we need to take a look at. So ARK isn't showing a dividend on their FinBiz profile. SARK. Again, they're not showing a dividend on their profile. So what I'll do, Easy Mike, is I will plug those into our system. I'll put them into our dividend payers system, and it will collect the data then on ARK and SARK this week, and then we can review that dividend payment information if it's available in the data source that I'm using to get dividend information. We'll see what kind of dividend ARK and SARK are paying. Okay. Okay, if I missed the dividend payer in the chat, if I missed your ticker, please throw it back up there. I'll try to catch those. I'll try to point out. Easy Mike was talking about outflows in BIL. Again, we talked about BIL as a short-term treasury bond ETF, so that's interesting information. We looked at EMB yesterday as another ETF on emerging market bonds. So that may be one I should add to our dividend payers as well. So I will look at adding that also to our dividend payers Google Sheet so we can see the dividend payment information for EMB. Talked about GLDI, IGLD. Talked about Realty Income. Another, keeping an eye on JEPI and JEPQ. Looking for a dip in JEPI. So if we get a significant pullback in the markets, this is again a very popular one. Again, the risk reward on JEPI is pretty good right now. Not so much on JEPQ. So that might be of interest to you. It probably is going to go ex-dividend. It probably just did, or is going to go ex-dividend on Monday, as the last ex-dividend reported was 11.1. I think someone was asking again about CLIP, which is a monthly dividend payer on China. So you can see the risk-reward profile on CLIP. Short-term looks pretty attractive. Again, we've done a previous video on our overall view on CLIP, so you can listen to that previous video. Talked about LTC and O and land. So again, you can see the risk-reward profiles of each of those in our Google Sheet. So look at the price appreciation that we're looking for. And again, the risk-reward profiles and the yield on those is really the price appreciation and not so much the nominal dividend. Just a comment I want to make right now is we saw the bond yields fall down to like 4.2% for the 10-year, and there's speculation that now that those bond yields are below 5%, we may see an inflow into dividend payers, so we might see more attraction in the dividend payers, that are above 5%. So again, speculation that we'll see inflow maybe out of bonds, out of near-term bonds paying less than 5% into some higher dividend payers. So again, we want those that dividend is going to be relatively stable, but something to consider. Looked at SAR. We've talked about TLT. Someone was asking, I think, about TLT and TLTW. So you can see TLTW is a monthly dividend payer on TLT. So you can see the current and risk reward profiles, compare those for TLT and TLTW. So you can see TLTW has got a nominal yield of almost 17%. Whereas TLT is only 4%. But again, right now it's showing potential more price appreciation in TLT than TLTW. So it seems to have some level of decay, isn't quite tracking the TLT, but it does pay a higher dividend. And again, it's probably going to go ex-dividend early next week, I would guess. Easy Mike yesterday was talking about UAN on a potash play, pays a pretty good quarterly dividend, so that's a potential potash play. Dividend payer, again, you could see the risk reward currently on that. Easy Mike is asking us to add IEI and IEF. IEI, IEF. Okay. I will look at adding those as well. Let's quickly see what those are. Okay, so this is a 3 to 7 year bond treasury ETF. Looks like it, has a small nominal dividend. Again, we'll look at the price appreciation. We'll get the risk reward profile. We'll see if that's attractive given the potential price appreciation. So IEF is a 7 to 10. So IEI 3 to 7, IEF 7 to 10. So again, additional ways to pay treasury bonds. So thank you for sharing those, Easy Mike, and I will plug those into our systems, collect the dividend information, and then probably add those to our main dividend payer sheet. So thank you again for sharing that. Again, if anybody else has additional dividend payers you'd like us to do research on, you can put it in the comments to this video. You can always contact us in our Discord. Just tag us at BeachBum. We're BeachBum Trading, no letters, no numbers, no additional characters. Anyone else is an imposter. So our Discord is free to join, and you can get access to all the additional channels, with the exception of just the few I pointed out that are exclusive to our Patreon members. So again, all of our other channels are free to join, and you can find an invite in the description box below. Also, you can find an invite to our Discord and links to all our social media profiles on our homepage, which is beachbumtrading.com, bum without the U. And again, you can always contact us via any of those social media sites and let us know if there's any additional dividend payers you would like us to do research on, add to our automated systems, and then that data will show up in the dividend payers Google Sheet. And again, we have a whole series of videos on how we've constructed this Google Sheet and also how to find the best dividend paying stocks. And you can access that series of videos via the link in the notes. You can also find them on our BeachBum Trading YouTube channel. Okay, I'll leave our dividend payers up in case someone wants to look at an additional one. Then we'll talk about option strategies. Let me grab a quick drink, and again, we'll talk about our option strategies. Okay, we've got a couple option strategies we also use to generate additional income, in addition to all our swing trades, scalps, etc. We sell covered calls against our existing positions when they're going up, buy them back when they're coming down. We sell cash secured puts against stocks that are going down that we're willing to hold and buy them back when they're bouncing back up. And again, you can see our criteria for put options in the notes, and we use our Google Sheet to identify stocks that are going down to potentially sell cash secured puts against. So again, you can use this both long term, for selling puts, cash secured puts, stocks that you're willing to hold, or also short term. You can see the movement in the stocks and then look for potential opportunities to scalp options, short-term trade options. Again, we have a series on how we use this puts ROIC Google Sheet, how it's constructed, and you can access that series via the link in our notes titled Option Strategies for Beginners with Examples. And we also have a playlist of additional videos on how you can use options to also make money trading. And you can access that via the options playlist. So with the VIX down as low as it is, 13 or so right now, the premium on most of these options isn't all that attractive, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time. We can see in our main watch list there really isn't anything that's over. I like to see something over $1. I want to see a ROIC at least 5%, so it competes with the money market percentages, the bonds, and really nothing right now in terms of mostly December expiration dates. Nothing terribly attractive. This gets updated. Again, these columns the white columns are based on Google Finance functions. So again, you can track who's going up and down in near real time during the day and possibly look for short-term options opportunities in that way. And then the gray columns, we collect the options data and update this at the end of each day via our automated systems. See Albemarle's hovering around 120. The chart still kind of looks kind of ugly to me. ROIC is still not that attractive, but that might be something you might want to consider for a short-term options trade. And it declined quite a bit. We have Disney in here. Again, we'll be watching. Maybe I took Disney out. Here's Disney. So I've got Disney at 80 right now. Options premium's not very attractive. Got Moderna. Again, we've talked about Moderna. I'm not really terribly interested in that. I think it's got further downside, but I do have the strike price pretty low. So again, you can look for additional opportunities. We've got our main watch list. We've also got additional stocks that I've identified as potential candidates in the research. And then each day I go through and use this option seller ROI tool to see if there's any others that we want to do research on to possibly find opportunities for selling and buying back puts. And again, if you'd like us to add anything to this system so that you can see the options information for puts, just let us know the ticker, strike price, the expiration date that you want us to do research on, and we can plug that in and run our systems and add that data to the puts ROIC Google sheet, and then you can use that again to trade puts. So we hope that all helps. I had a couple discoveries, a couple things I wanted to show you, new features in Webull that I've discovered. I'll put this off probably till next week to go into detail about this web markets page. So I'll defer that to next week. We'll take a look at that I discovered. I will let you know that I got an email that the Webull app now offers a DRIP, which is a dividend reinvestment programs. So currently they're offering it to a limited group of users. If you're not familiar with what a dividend reinvestment program is, how that works, why you would want to reinvest dividends versus not, we do have a short video on, what is a dividend reinvestment program, what's a DRIP, and you can listen to that via the bonus link in our notes, or you can find that again on our BeachBum Trading channel. And at some point, I'll can talk about some of the pros and cons of DRIPs and different types of accounts, tax advantaged accounts versus non, and what we like or don't like about DRIPs. Very quickly, earlier in the chat, EKS was commenting on our recent video on GCT and asking for an update on GCT. So I just wanted to quickly take a look at GCT. He noted the recent run up. So we see this, significant pop in GCT on, looks like on Friday. I think he pointed out it was 24 something percent. It looks like they just reported earnings, got a positive surprise. So that pop looks like it's on earnings. So they beat on earnings, beat on revenue, and you see that nice pop it got. As you can see, it broke above the previous high. It does, have a significant gap, so you might see some profit taking at this point. Got, plenty of upside. So again, I wouldn't be surprised. That's a pretty significant gap up pop. If you do get an extension, on Monday, we might have a, multi-day runner back up to that 18 level. So they are profitable. Positive recommendations, got plenty of upside, got support from the moving averages below. So, might see a retracement, gap fill, or an extension. So keep an eye on GCT. Looks like, good opportunity. See the news. So popped on earnings. So again, positive sentiment, beat on earnings, and again, you can see, companies that beat are being rewarded, especially these small caps. This guy's got a pretty small float. Another thing to watch out for is you see that difference in shares outstanding and float. That probably means they've got, an offering sitting on the shelf, and so watch out for an offering. Make sure you protect your profits. Again, I would watch out if it pops further. They may have an offering ready to drop. So again, protect your profits. You can always trail it up as it goes up, and if they drop that offering and it plummets, then you collect your profits and wait for it to bottom and turn back around. So I hope that all helps. Okay, if I missed your comment, your ticker you wanted to look at, I apologize. Again, you can put it in the comments. You can contact us in our Discord. Again, via our social media profiles, and we can follow up and try to look at those additional stocks in the future or offline. Again, we can continue these discussions, 24/7 in our free Discord. So we encourage everyone to join our Discord. Let's keep the conversations going. Again, if you want us to look at stocks during our live stream, if you give me some heads up in advance, that definitely helps. I can take a look in advance and do some research on those. Again, we hope that you like this content. Please let us know. Let us know how we can improve both our weekly trading game plans, live streams, any of our videos, any of our tools, our Google Sheets, our automated systems, our community. How can we add more value for all of our BeachBum traders? That's certainly our objective. So we again hope you'll smash the like button. Help us get the YouTube algorithm to share this more broadly, attract more traders to our BeachBum trading community. Please share this with any other traders that you know. Again, our goal is to continue to build the community and add more value for the mutual benefit of all of our fellow BeachBum traders. So again, let us know what we can do to improve, any additional stocks you'd like us to do due diligence on, add to our Google Sheets, our research systems, etc. And otherwise, we hope that you have a great trading week this week, December 4th through December 8th, and we hope to see you all back here again next weekend for our next week's weekly trading game plan. Thank you again for watching and for everyone that participated in the live chat. Good luck and have a great trading week.